Well, joining me now in our newsroom is the terrorism expert, Dr Sally Leivesley, and it's a pleasure to have you on the programme tonight. What do you make of what we've heard about the two brothers so far, Dr Sally?
Well, America is now back where we were in 2005. They are seeing young, recruited activists who are very dedicated to kill people in the country. But beyond this, it's a different scene in the United States to what we had in 2005, because the wider picture will obviously be what is worrying the United States and should be worrying other countries. We're talking about Chechens and Chechen motivation, but I think we need to pause about that until we know, because what we do see with a lot of Chechen terrorists is that they join many different groups around the world. So you may see them in Al-Qaeda affiliated groups, you may see them in state-sponsored groups. So America has a very big question to answer now, and it's not these two boys, it's who else is out there in the homeland who have slipped below the radar to create devices. America will be very worried today.
And it's obviously still very early days, but why would the Boston Marathon be a target?
We should understand this more than any other country, because we've just had a very successful Olympics, and we understood how sport is an iconic target, because sport, and particularly these high-profile events, they compete for the hearts and minds of the community. And when we see a lot of sort of young people who've got the same religious ideology as these two lads, they can move towards being involved in the community and not take up some of this religious activity, or so-called religious activity. It's hearts and minds, and it's competition. And before the Olympics, some people overseas certainly met their deaths because they were in the Olympics.
And given the level of expertise, let's say, in terms of the bomb making and the amount of arsenal we believe these two brothers have, do you think that they have been working alone or part of a bigger group here?
Well, looking at how they did the bomb run, did the bomb walk, as we saw in those pictures, again, it's very similar to our 7/7 bombers when they were on their bomb run. However, the counter-surveillance of these two has been much more successful. It's done homegrown pipe bombs, everything under the radar in terms of achievement, no need for communications, only a group of two. We know here, once there are several people in a conspiracy, it's much easier to pick them up. So their counter-surveillance avoidance is much more serious, and one would expect that as they're efficient bomb makers, they may perhaps even on university holidays have had some fighting experience overseas, because those devices were effective.
Dr Sally Leivesley, thank you very much.